If you've been on YouTube in the online business space, you've probably heard of the word niche. And you've probably also heard of the advice that you need to niche down in order to become successful in online business. But in this video, I kind of want to deconstruct that and talk about how I think that advice is quite outdated and isn't right anymore for most people. I will talk about who I am and why I am talking about this topic just to give you an idea of who I am. So I will now list a few things that I've done in my own life just so that you know who I am and why I'm talking about it. It isn't to make it sound cocky or to just show you what I've achieved in life. It's purely to show you who I am. Now I really want to get into the topic of this video, which is if you've ever been told to niche down, that's probably not that good of advice anymore nowadays. And the reason for that, there's a lot of reasons actually. One is that I personally don't believe in it anymore, and I believe that you can use everything you learn and point what you learned at goals that you really want to achieve so that you increase the likelihood of achieving those goals. But a born polymath, having to choose one thing to go deep in feels like you want to jump out of your own skin, which is something you probably also feel when someone tells you to niche down and you don't want to do that, is because you have a lot of interests and you want an exciting life where you can pursue all of those interests. So when someone tells you to pick one thing and to go deep in that, that feels like a disservice to your authentic self because you really don't want to just focus on one thing because you know that there's so much more to life. And that's why I feel that born polymaths need to be able to pursue different interests because otherwise life just becomes unpleasant. So that is a very important rule for polymaths, is to be able to focus on multiple things because that keeps life exciting. And the advantage is that you can connect those multiple interests to get to unique viewpoints. You can get to unique perspectives and innovative solutions to problems, often in ways that no one other than you can think of, which is the actual moat of a polymath, right? The unique perspectives that come with the connections between these multiple interests that you have form such a unique way of thinking, which can resonate with other people and which is not able to be replaced by AI. And I want to preface that by saying that there is no one right answer to how to find success in life, right? There are people that find success in life by becoming a specialist in one thing, but I will explain why I think that that might be the wrong move in today's age of AI. Because nowadays there's a lot of talk about you probably getting replaced by AI, or at least your job getting replaced by AI is what I mean. And the way to avoid that is threefold. The first thing that I feel like you have to do if you want to avoid getting replaced by AI is to go deep in as many interests as possible. I want you to become a specialized generalist. And that's not to say that you can't go deep in a certain field, because of course you still need some expertise in at least one field. But what I'm saying is try to go deep in as many fields as humanly possible, because this will give you as many opportunities as you need to continue evolving with this AI age. The second thing is learn how AI works and how you could leverage it, because AI will only extinct people who don't know how to leverage it efficiently, not the ones who know how to leverage it. So if you're someone that, has a bit of expertise in one field, the moment that you start learning AI and how you can leverage that AI in your field, you also get ahead of most people that just don't know how to use AI. That is also something that you could just do to avoid getting replaced by AI, even if you don't have expertise in multiple fields. And then the third and last thing that you could do to avoid getting replaced by AI is to start building a personal brand, because AI cannot replace a whole person with unique experiences, knowledge, perspectives, and opinions. You've probably heard that before, right? That people follow people. So the more you can build a brand around yourself, the more demand that there will be for you as the person, as the brand. And when that happens, it is so much harder for AI to replace you. So that is a big, big tip that I give myself now, but that I also want to pass on to you, is that you really need to get started with a personal brand, especially if you have expertise in one, two, or many other fields. And I want you to keep in mind that you can become successful in life by pursuing your own interests. A lot of polymaths nowadays struggle with the idea that, they start a project or they go deep into a topic, but then they stop that endeavor and they move on to another one. And they feel like that's a failure because they haven't really achieved anything in that first interest. But let me tell you why it's important that you kind of keep doing that. First of all, pursuing your interests is gonna create a bit of chaos for everyone. But where it has a benefit is when you start a project and you kind of go deep, you start to learn about that more. But then you leave it for something else, that doesn't mean that knowledge in that first interest or that first field is lost. You could use what you learned there still in another field. And you probably will come back to that first one later down the line once that second, third, or fourth interest doesn't really seem interesting to you anymore. And that's really what I want you to keep in mind, is that you're playing a lifelong game of pursuing interest and building real expertise, real knowledge, real experience in different fields. It takes a while for you to get to the point where you can be considered an expert. And the pace at which you do that doesn't really matter. The point is that you will get there as long as you keep learning, as long as you keep moving forward in the interest that you've chosen. Even if you kind of start something and then move on to the next temporarily, there's a big, big chance that you will come back to that first one and just keep developing that later down the line. So I don't want you to be afraid of that shiny object syndrome. Everyone has that to some extent. For polymaths, that might be more than others, but this is an ability, a skill that you can develop, is learning how to navigate what interests that need attention, time, and where you need to go deeper. But you can always just pick it up later when it doesn't seem interesting in this moment. And yes, your road to success might be faster if you only go deep in one thing, but man, is the risk so much higher that you become obsolete if you just build expertise or specialism in one field. Because once AI is able to produce real results in that field, your whole expertise becomes obsolete, and then you don't have anything else to fall back on or to rely on. So you really need to be a flexible human being who can adapt to different needs of the market. That is really important. That's why I said go deep in as many interests as possible. Become a specialized generalist, because I feel like that's the only way forward and the only way to guarantee that you are not replaced by AI and that the world will keep getting value from you in different ways because you can adapt. That is really the new path to survive in the AI age. So that's what I want to leave you with. I hope that long list of what I did in the beginning didn't bore you and that you stayed for this last part, because that's really the importance of this video. Now, if you want to dive deeper into this and if you want to connect with other polymaths, learn how to use your skills, interests, and passions to create real value in the world, consider joining my Skool community. It's completely free. And it's just for you to connect, like I said, with other polymaths and learn how to navigate that trait that you have. So the link will be in the description for that. It will be the first link. You can just click on it, join it for free, and I hope to see you in there because I really believe that it's something valuable for the polymaths of today. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.